with Jacob. I fucked up badly today, Jacob.
Oh, what'd you
I
do?
had the interview scheduled with Neutron guys, and I
Oh,
just
nice.
and I just didn't appear.
you
I just
know,
yeah.
what, you asleep?
No. I was horse riding.
Horse. Okay. And look, this stuff happens,
Like
especially if I had to guess, you've started your validator now, your life is likely to accelerate. You will get more busy. It will.
we'll see.
Frankly, it's challenging. Then
I
it's.
I made two videos yesterday and the interview. So I just try maybe to do too much stuff and getting lost with this. Like now, like I still didn't change after horses. Look, I'm in my uh
your jockey suit. Yeah.
so but yeah, I hope you are not angry that I commented on your post yesterday, because every time
No.
I see
Hey,
the
it doesn't bother me in the least bit. Like, look.
every time
The,
I see the Juno drama and Prop 16 being brought up back, I'm jumping on. I love that shit.
that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind at all. And
Regarding
like,
yeah,
yeah.
regarding the validating, it's
Mhm.
it's 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 difficult. Not many. Still on the nomic and still waiting for that Takumi bang.
I have a
So
question. I have a question for you.
yeah,
How's validating going for you economically? I'm guessing not well. I bet you make hundreds monthly.
no. So there is two nodes that I'm part of, which is Bad Kids, which is
Mm-hmm.
three people, and it's on Stargaze. So we share equally 33% each, and whole I think it makes maybe around $100 a month in the current price, but the servers cost $80, so maybe we made $10 each a month, right? And Nomic is not tradable. It's only $20 a month. So that's negative 20. And the Cosmos is again $80 a month, but I'm not in the active set. So we will see. But yeah, if I can make few $100, I will be satisfied. We will see. I
Well,
would like to.
listen. I believe that you will do well over time, and I'm very happy to help you to get established, including even delegations. Notional frequently delegates out to validators that we think will improve the quality of networks. You're of course on that list. I asked though because I wanted to make that information public because guys, there's a common misconception about validators. Spin up a node and now you're getting lots of money. No, it is hard, like any business, and like any business, risk is front loaded. So right now, Marcin is in the risk period. What networks are you in? So Stargaze as Bad Kids and Nomic
Yes,
as Kryptonium.
as Kryptonium, I'm trying to get on Hub, but it's only really it's actually only up to Takumi because this is so competitive, right? So
The hub is hard.
yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I
getting
don't. I
most
don't
of
have a meaningful enough atom stake to really help you there. There are
and
some networks. Mhm.
I want to tell you why I'm choosing these ones. Because I everyone now spinning up the knot on Kujia or I don't know what is this, okay? But my concern, like, okay, like I know I'm not bare metal, Jacob. I know nothing about validating. If
Hey,
if
we'll,
if the
we'll, we'll, we'll
future,
get you. We're
if
going to
in the
get you bare metal.
future
We're going to get you bare metal. Don't you worry.
if in the future the situation is different, right? My partner says like he has a power outrage often in his place, which is like not the best. We'll see how I would change in the future, but it's not about this. But I want to be on few networks as of now,
Yeah.
the main networks. The Stargaze because I like Stargaze and NFTs. The Nomic because I check Nomic every single day and compound. So I'm active there. I look at this. I will be active. I will vote. I will make content on this. Cosmos
Mhm.
Hub because it's the main hub. The next ones I'm thinking is Juno. I cover a lot of content. I don't know if I can get on with Juno in the active set, also competitive. I know
What's the floor?
like 25,000 Juno, 30,000 Juno, around this, like really difficult. And like it's like, let's not pretend the
It's my belief that I
sentiment
can sponsor you.
uh would be crazy, but like I mean the
No, no,
sentiment between me and
it's not.
Juno.
It's not crazy at all. And look, like Juno needs antagonists. Okay, every network does. One thing that you do not do, Marcin, you do not lie. Okay. I know you believe that the wolf line. Da, 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 da. I don't actually think he did. Um, I criticize him on other things about 69. By the way,
Mhm.
sorry, not 69. I love
72.
69. It's 16. 16. But
Who doesn't
anyway,
like it's our chat's number 69. I decided each of our chat will have number 69 now.
that's
Never,
excellent. That's
never.
excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
And you wanted to talk about Dig.
Yeah, so
And how
because
about we sort of structure this like, hey, ask me literally anything, and then I want to like openly
yeah,
recognize thus far Dig has not become what we intended for it to be. So
yeah.
I'm going to
So
start there.
so let's jump into this. But I want to come back to validating at the end. I want to tell you my concerns,
Sure.
not about me, but about validators. Because so you well aware of Soy, the guy Soy, right? The guy
Yeah,
who
if I were you, I
hates you.
would not associate with him.
So I speak to him often. Like he actually, like, I believe he has some sane points about the certain stuff. But I get the
Well, okay,
messages.
but hang on. The trouble is that when you mix your sane points with dribble, then it all becomes dribble. Um,
So but it's like, so I try to not lie on this channel, and I try to be honest, which is not the greatest business model I have. Like, let's not pretend this is not.
actually, listen. I think that validation is the right business for a stubborn asshole, honestly, because I'm one. Validation's gone really well. I honestly believe that in large part, that actually is due to me being stubborn.
Mhm.
It's due to like stuff like no, notional will not enable restake. Sorry, we're not going to make transactions on your behalf. You'll need to do them because that's for you to do. Or stuff like you know Prop 69 on the hub, where okay, no, Noah veto doesn't say that. Also, no, I'm not vetoing because Jay and Gno. No, I'm vetoing because Jacob and holy shit, really bad precedent. Um, you know,
So with the honesty, like, I get the messages, man, the Jacob, the bad guy, and I'm being open. Look, I'm on friendly relationship
no.
with Jacob.
Yeah,
I'm
I
on
am.
I'm on friendly relationship with Jacob. I might be not objective here, but I spoke to Jacob and I do think he's genuine. I don't think the Dig is great project or was, but I don't think there was bad intention. So
Well,
start with
wait. Actually,
Soy.
let me. Let's
Here
go
is the
back.
timeline.
Start with soy. Okay, soy
Here's the
black.
timeline.
By the
So
way, I don't give a shit anything he says. Though. But continue. I'll address his points.
then he says the Dig initially started in Belarus. It meant to be Belarus. Once the war started, they said it's Ukraine, something like this. But today, okay, I come back
But
now, and this is
please, well, like, but that's okay. But that
have you
is
ever
not
tried to
accurate.
establish in Belarus?
Absolutely. Ukraine was much more attractive. And no, we didn't just start talking about Ukraine post war. We straight invested in Ukraine pre war, and it was a major downside to the project. But if you were to go through the news, what you'd find is that Ukraine adopted a set of laws that made it really easy to use cryptocurrency for any transaction that you'd like to. This included real estate. We were like, hell yeah! Very exciting.
And Belarus the same?
No, Belarus wasn't the same. That's why we don't
Yeah,
do
yeah,
anything
yeah. Why
there.
why do you okay, then like why do you choose, and with respect to anyone, these countries are not very economically powerful. In fact, the corruption is ravaging. Like Ukraine has high corruption, let's not
I,
pretend. Sorry
well,
for the
so
war.
I don't know. I don't know anything about corruption in Ukraine, but I can tell you the exact basis on which we would choose countries. This is something that Adam and I discussed when we designed the project. We wanted to choose entirely based on the legal conditions. Okay? So, here's a good example, right? Hey, Marcin, do you think that we could make a verdant and prosperous piece of land anywhere on the planet? But let's say, Marcin, what's an uncomfortable place? Name one.
Physical uncomfortable place?
Yeah.
Russia.
Okay. All right. Well, what if the Russian state allowed us full administration over a piece of land?
Well, it's good, but it's also kind of dictatorship. Wait, maybe more this uncomfortable would be like North Korea, your favorite, right?
I could. I'm American. They're sanctioned,
Yeah,
so
okay,
they'd be
that's
off
too
the
far.
list.
Russia.
Yeah.
Let's go with Russia.
Well, Russia. Technically Russia is sanctioned as well, so we couldn't. How about like South Sudan though, or Somalia, right? I mean, look. One of the precepts of DIG was that, like, it's our belief that give us economic freedom, give us a piece of land, give us clear like do's and don'ts, a regulatory framework that works for real estate. And mind you, we are now considering the United States. I was very strongly against that in the beginning. The reason
The greatest
is
land
that,
on earth. Why?
well, real estate in the United States is highly, highly legally encumbered, and even the work that we've done toward putting DIG into the United States has already been time-consuming and regulatory-driven. I did not want DIG to be regulatory-driven. I was personally involved in the decision to, choose Ukraine. I think it was like 2 or 3 months before the start of the conflict. Anyhow, no, there was no idea that would be occurring. Here was the grand vision. Okay, so DIG. First of all, notional does not set the business agenda for DIG. That's one of the sort of ground rules that we operated under. That is basically Adam Christopher Chaplin, who's a good friend of mine. A guy's a freak, by the way. So people made you. Oh my God! Did you see that one Bad Kids video? I died laughing from the Oracle with Adam. I live in a van down by the river.
I don't know why you don't have bad kids still.
I don't know. Maybe I ought to.
Like,
But that's
see
not
how
really the point here.
many people have bad kids. Your favorite, Billy at Interchange.
I don't really. Look, I had that raccoon profile picture for a hot minute.
It's different class. It's different class.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm glad you like our fridge. It stores food and stuff. Yeah, I'm a shouter sometimes. What can I say? All right. Now, did he have any other commentary on Dick? Because look, I don't want to entertain that much.
No, it's okay, but it's also like, because if I choose the pub, like, hey, I'm open, everyone can come on my channel, then people start coming.
Yeah. Well, no, I
and
actually
they try to tell me what I should do, which is like,
Of
hey,
course, of
I will
course,
ask
of
this
course.
person. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. I
yeah,
will
yeah.
ask.
I
So
feel
he
you.
mentioned this, and today on Twitter, there is I'm receiving the message, okay, from the new Twitter account, which I believe maybe the soy told. I don't know. Maybe this and curious. I'm reading you
Well, I
all
blocked
this.
Soy Boy, so there's that.
So there is this new some guy who is called Crypto Sale messaging me on
Right?
Twitter today, 9:30 a.m. Hello, Don. Could you please do an investigation on Dick Chain? It's not right when Jacob has done to a lot of people. He has basically abandoned the project. It's been months since he last updated anyone on Telegram channel. I feel this coin was just a rug pull. Such projects should never be allowed to enter osmosis. I can give you my wallet address for further verification if you need it. I never thought this could help in Cosmos, but lesson learned. None of the timelines has been met, and we have yet to have a market or a draft with a first property. Lastly, we were supposed to launch in an BVE, but no further updates have been given. Just
Oh
lost
yeah.
for
What's
words. I
quick question? What is BDE? I thought that meant Big Dick Energy.
I don't know. Like this is the like
Oh,
look
okay.
look
Because
look. So
I don't know what BDE means.
like this is so that's it. You see, this is the
Thank you.
message. Like I'm receiving the messages, and I just said sorry to learn. Um, and I said I messaged him. So I received the message, right? And I don't know, like I don't know anything about Dick, and people think I'm some sort of investigator.
Right, right. Well, you are some sort of investigator to some degree.
Just make content
Uh,
and fun, like so what's this person like so can you ease this person? What the hell's going on, you know?
I don't know who they are, so I
I
can't
don't know either,
say.
but they say you rag them.
Um, I'm a net purchaser of Dig. My company owns a great deal of Dig, I think 50 million or something. But I'm speaking on an individual basis. And no, I'm not going to give anybody my wallet address for any reason. They can have my company's wallet address, though. They would be able to see that my company just chills on it. We haven't sold a thing. And I believe that's what a rug pull is, right? You know,
Yeah,
the
like
founders
but
sort of.
they doubt that it even works. So is there anything that Dick is still alive? I guess maybe
Oh
that's
yeah,
what they ask. Is it still
shit.
valid
We better
project?
get a Kryptonium. We better get a Kryptonium validator out there. So that you know. Actually, so yes, it is still alive. Now, let's be real and frank and direct here. Did it go according to plan? Is notional completely financially viable without Dig? Yes. When notional starts a project with an external party and takes an allocation in Genesis, is notional making a long-term commitment to that project? Yes. Uh, did the budget for Dig get spent almost entirely on Ukraine? Yes.
How much did you raise? How much did Dig raised money?
I know. I don't actually know.
So you
Um,
are so let's you are no co-founder of Dig or anything like this.
no, I'm absolutely a co-founder of Dig. I had absolutely no involvement in that. In fact, you know, Notional is the technical developer of the project.
Uh huh.
Okay. What I do know, and I certainly believe would be accurate, um, Adam, CEO, has quite literally lost money on the project. Um, you know, I don't know if it's a rug pull. It's the least profitable rug pull of all time. Notional effectively subsidizes Dig development, and like I'm fully aware that dig development is literally ongoing as we speak. There's active conversation on it in our Slack chat. And, but people tend toward hyperbole. And by the way, has Dig's financial performance been good? Let's go there. Okay, let's go there. Let's be real direct as hell. No,
I mean, it's
been shit.
unprofitable because there is the dig have not been able to achieve anything they wanted to, like with property. So there is exactly $0 revenue, right? So
correct, and there's not much platform.
So
usage.
how you dig out of this hole now, Jacob?
Beautiful, excellent question. Okay, so first of all, we've recognized. I openly recognize project did not go according to plan. We, thank God, did not plan around warfare and generally, honestly, I never expected that I'd have a business that was adjacent to a war. But now, because of dig, Notional most certainly is exposed to economic damage coming from warfare, and guys, it sucks. Anyway, how do we dig out? Well, so I said that initially I was strongly against entering the US market. We are in conversations with regulators in the US, including the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, about how dig can legally enter the U.S. market.
And how you can do it with no money because the dig doesn't have funds, right?
Look, I'd pay for it.
Okay.
And also, let's just be very clear. There isn't even a dig company. Dig is a decentralized blockchain, blah da 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 da, for real estate. Okay. If we were to need a company, we would make one. If we enter the US market, probably we need one. And in that case, we would create one. We might even create an additional blockchain called Dig US. But we're not only looking in the United States. We are also looking in the British Virgin Islands and globally.
Okay,
in general.
BVE. BVE is British Virgin Islands.
Well, no, it's BVI, but still, okay.
BVI. Sorry, I'm like the stupid Polish pronunciation. BVI. I'm easier at speaking than spelling. Sometimes people ask me spell it, and I'm not sure how the things are spelled, but it's BVI, British Virgin, which exactly make, like, I tell you something. So I follow this guy Hugh Hendry, right? I like his macro guy. A few years ago, he relocated to the Saint Barbs and he developed everything in the real estate in South Barbs, which I think the project like Dig make more sense for small islands with limited supply than open markets. Like, it creates certain opportunities there, maybe. So BVI maybe but it's still bigger, right?
The ideal, I think, for Dig is, look, please keep in mind that Dig is sort of different things to different people. What I mean by that is that to some people, it is for, selling houses. And most certainly, it's that to me, okay? I want for Dig to be something that can be used to sell houses. But I'm more interested in land, frankly, and specifically in undeveloped land that is developed collaboratively using the chain. Now, here's the deal.
Well, what do you mean undeveloped land? Like farmland?
I want land that has nothing on it at present. So one of my precepts, one of my, just thoughts stepping into Dig was kind of sort of like this. You know what? If we had some degree of clearly defined autonomy. And I should say that, yes, I'm heavily influenced by the work of Balaji Spicer here. Something the audience most likely does not know, and I had a number of conversations with him. Actually, not primarily on this topic, primarily on the topic of decentralized social media. I was given an award of $200. So this gazillionaire investor starts a Twitter GM chat with me. I'm not even joking. He's got his assistant there, and he's like, you wrote this paper on decentralized social media. I'd like to give you an award from Nakamoto.com. And
Well,
I'm like,
that's Howl Social. Howl Social
well,
is the. We'll see. Did you see the test net? Like did you see it?
Oh, you're talking about Howl.
Yeah. Howl Social.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will tell you that, one, I'm super enthusiastic about Howl. Two, I wanted to build something similar on Juno. Three,
It
I'm
is
not
on
going to be doing
Juno.
that.
Howl Social is
No,
on
no,
Juno.
I know that. What I mean is, that's an idea that I expressed and did not execute. And I don't actually know if Howl follows the ideas that I had. Actually, I think it's quite different from my idea. Their concept is like you stake on content. I don't know, it's going to be freaking awesome. And decentralized social media and natively monetized social media is something I've been doing for years since the launch of Steam.
It's very
So
difficult.
I've been involved in that. What's that?
Very to the I checked the Howl, and it's a little bit claustrophobic. I can tell to people, like the test version, you can those who are on Discord, they can actually enter this. Twitter is nicer, give the nicer experience. The Howl, it feels like condensed. The user experience is not so sleek, and like the also the design still.
This is why social media costs billions of dollars. This was one of the lessons that we learned with Steam and Kryptonian. Are you aware that I'm primary author of a fork of Steam? Actually,
yeah.
Twan authored it. Then I sort of took over primary authorship, and now actually, Blurt is in a very interesting place. I am no longer involved in the day-to-day at Blurt, and that is exactly what I want. One thing, to our general audience, with Dig, it's not the case. I am involved in the day-to-day, and I will need to be until it enters some sort of a self-sustaining state. Blurt, although the price is not, Blurt hasn't gone to the moon. Total market cap last I checked like 20 million, but who knows? Prices have dropped a lot by then. It could, maybe the market cap's 3 million, maybe it's 1 million, maybe it's 69 million. I don't know. Point being, though, Blurt is run by Blurt's community really well. And that, look, guys, like that for me as an author is actually what I'm looking for. That's my desire in any project that I touch. I want to see them run themselves without me and not be dependent on me. So obviously, Dig still has a lot of work to go in that department. Anyhow, I want to finish one more thing and then maybe hop off here. But okay, I was mentioning I had this precept, and that Dig was different things to different people, and that to some people it's about houses, but to me it's about undeveloped land. I figured that if the economic rules of the game were clear, and you weren't threatened with, violence or warfare, that you could take a piece of land pretty much anywhere in the world and commercialize the hell out of it, that you would not even need a hospitable environment, that you could build a gleaming city in the middle of the freaking desert, provided that you gave that city modern financial infrastructure. This is Dig. So yeah, there you
So
go.
so you go let's give me an example. I want to understand British Virgin Islands, right? You have Dig. Um so is it like the people who use Dig, they kind of seamlessly purchase the land and just own it without, because
That's the
yeah, like
goal.
tell
Hang
me
on,
tell me how the
that's the
tell
goal,
me how the process looks
but
like.
well,
Let's give
it would
example of British
be
Virgin Islands, okay? There is the
uh,
land for sale, some
well,
piece of land.
in the BVI, I believe that would be properties. Okay. Remember, different things, different people, and the other thing to remember is the real estate market is not a contiguous thing. Okay. It is something that is dramatically different from place to place all around the world, and that's why Dig is actually built as a hub. That's another reason why Dig does not have a company. Okay. Why doesn't Dig have a company? Because we figured we might have to start 50 companies to support the thing. Why? Because countries require companies. But Dig doesn't have a country. Dig is the global service provider to all of the other chains, which will then rigorously comply with local law. Look, the blockchain industry has a nasty habit of doing things a little bit gray. But you're not going to sell real estate that way. Who in their right mind would buy it? How would you know that the sale was legal? Dig has to be, entirely crystal clear, black and white, or it will fail. Now, present state, has it failed? No. What has failed is the first go-to-market plan. Okay. Oh, hey there, Oliver.
I wasn't investigating.
Oliver, hey, I was gonna hop off, but like, do you have any direct questions for me about Dig? Just
Yeah,
ask
Oliver,
now.
just
I'd
ask,
say.
because I actually know nothing about Dig, which is like this, you know, if I would be buying real estate, like for me, it's just like I would fly and just buy real estate if I can, because in not all of the
Well, so it's
place.
not just for purchasing real estate, though, right? Because real estate, if you have, say, you have a piece of undeveloped land, well, then maybe you build something on the undeveloped land. Well, then
But
that may produce
you
rents.
not always can. For example, sometimes you have undeveloped land and you cannot just build a building there. This the
Yeah,
undeveloped
you need a
land
permit and stuff.
needs to get
Exactly.
approval to be the,
Exactly. And
yeah.
and and Marcin, this is why Dig will take time. It
Hmm.
will. And I am okay with that. And if somebody is, I don't know, potentially investing in Dig on osmosis to look for a quick pump, I would tell them that I politely decline. Well, I can't decline, okay? It's permissionless, okay? And there's a gentleman on the osmosis team, Jim. He says, wait for product market fit in order to launch on osmosis. I'd also like to explain why we launched on osmosis without product market fit. Okay, it's because we want to attract brains, right? We want to build the community of people who are interested in pursuing this particular high risk branch of work that, quite frankly, the two gentlemen who designed the project absolutely could never do on their own because it will require a global community. So what we did is we created a framework that enables this work, and that is Dig. And did the first go-to-market plan fail due to the war in Ukraine? Yes. Yes. Will we continue to try? Well, yeah. Okay. I am financially stable. Adam is financially stable. At this point, oh, and by the way, I mean, he got wrecked on Dig. But like, we both have numerous business concerns. And we've made the decision to just continue to pursue it. I definitely have made, like, I've said stuff like, oh, we're going to do the software upgrade on XYZ, right? Then Terra blew up, then Osmosis blew up. when Terra had the crazy downward spiral financial thingy, and I don't know if everybody is really aware of this, but there were two price events with Dig that are fairly significant and notable. One of
So
them.
like I just think you launch in the peak. You just launch in the peak. Dig wasn't like extremely popular chain. It was one of the smallest. You never really get the really deep volume. There's like the top was 300. Is it
Oh,
300?
you want to talk about volume, buddy? We never faked it. Not even a
Yeah, like,
penny.
but what I'm saying, it
Well,
wasn't
hang
really like.
on. Many, you know that many projects fake volume on osmosis,
I
right?
know. We actually did
And
have
you
a
know
chat.
that
So
they do that to boost their incentives, right? Well, we never did. Not even a cent. Okay. When I trade Dig on osmosis, it's purchases. I've never sold it, guys.
mhm.
So,
Actually, this happens now with the Cosmos. There is this exchange called Bitforex, which never probably heard of before. It's
and it looks like
registered.
somebody's kind of creating volume there.
It's registered in Hong Kong as based of China, I believe Shenzhen, and 50% of atom volume comes from this one exchange recently. Some
That's
like
weird.
the
But
yeah.
there's two possibilities, right? It could be a project principal, somebody who's decided to create fake volume. Keep in mind that on
It
those
was dead for
exchanges,
months. It was dead for months, and suddenly, like
mhm.
week ago, like this huge trades activity started on this
Well,
Chinese
just so you
exchange.
know, like that can also easily be the work of an individual programmer. Guys, you
Mhm.
give me $5,000 and 8 hours, I can create millions of dollars of volume on just about any exchange with just 5K. Why? Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah,
And you can make even more if you don't care if you're making money or not.
yeah. Like
But
I wonder.
I don't do that. But I'm telling you, people do that, and I'm also telling you that, like, well, I don't know. I don't think it's good practice. So do it.
It also, I need to tell you that those with no volume often are dying, and this is also, do you know volume is like so important for um social interest. Do you know how NFTs on OpenSea trend volume?
Yeah,
And
but you know what? You know what? Like,
and
look,
this is fake volume too.
these.
People don't know.
Sure. But wait. Like, look, I don't want to get into sweeping the rug and all that stupid other NFT crap. I think it's very dumb. The reality
Hmm.
is, fake anything will not work for real estate, and we want to
It's
build
market makers.
Dig.
That's how they
Right,
do.
exactly. And we aren't, we're not going to engage in that. Not now, not in the future. Or how about this? Not as long as I can control that. And let's just say that actually I can't control that because you, Marcin, you could go out, you could buy $5,000 worth of Dig, you could trade it back and forth on osmosis, and I couldn't stop you. Um, you know,
Yeah.
what is Jacob's big point here? Is Dig a scam? Hell no. And did our first go to market fail because of war in Ukraine? Hell yes. Are we working on other go to market strategies in other places? Also, hell yes. And is that going to take time? Yes. Has it taken longer than I'd like? Yes. Guys, I would like very much if I could just snap my fingers and have all the regulatory shit disappear. I hate it. It angers me. It angers me that there's differentiation, for example, between like corporate equity and crypto assets. It angers me that I don't know if you know the notion of free coin or free coinery. What do they call it? When it's this idea that anybody should be able to make their own private currency. I actually believe in that very strongly. I believe that the vast majority of currencies over time have been shitcoins. What I mean, I'm talking about back thousands of years, not hundreds, not 5 years, not 20 years. I'm talking back thousands of years. And I believe that people will continue to make shitcoins, and that shitcoins are not restricted to cryptocurrency, and that it's probably best to not restrict. You have to think of this from the consumer perspective, okay? So, like, why are you saying I can't buy a shitcoin? What the hell? It's my money. And by the way, I mean,
I
you
don't
know,
think there was any grilling though. Like
yeah, well, it wasn't a lot of grilling, but if anybody does want to grill me,
like that's why.
anybody in
But
the
like
audience,
the people
hell,
don't really
if
engage.
Soy Boy wants to come on, and
Yeah.
show his face, I'm a little harsh
Yeah,
on
like
him,
I wonder
Hans.
if he's
When
here, but like
anonymous actors get critical, I'm like,
it would be useful if he could
this is
at
how I
least
feel about anons who get critical.
you
You
you know
don't have the right.
you do deal with that. Like I also deal with anonymous people, like and but yeah, like I don't know if he's here, but it would be useful if he would like address even in the text the concerns, because like I don't know anything, but
Well, I
I
don't know.
guess
He's blocked on my Twitter and he's not coming back. I get
yeah,
him.
but
He
here
has
on
second chances
YouTube
and
he
crap.
could essentially
Yeah, absolutely. He's invited to.
he could
Anytime he wants
essentially
to
just
show his face and be a
yeah.
human, well, cool, man. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'm also Marcin. This is once again one of
Jacob,
your.
one last
Hmm?
thing. I know you
Yeah,
busy.
yeah,
So the problem with the validators, I see the validators
yeah.
spinning a lot of new nodes right now, Kujia and like whatever is this. But there will be these hundreds of networks, and everyone is chasing the economics of being validator, like getting some money, right? But
No, I mean, look.
it will create the debt chains, because if there is like, let's say you as the validator, you validate 200
Hang
chains.
on. The validators don't create the debt chains. The projects
But
create the
if
debt
they do not
chains.
engage in the governance of the certain chain, because let's say there is no financial incentive, and they're like, okay, I don't give a shit, I'm the validator there, but I don't give a shit, and every single prop has difficulties with reaching quorum, I would advise validators to thinking twice before spinning the node on the new network if this is
So
really something
I
they
actually,
care.
if that is a problem that we're seeing, I agree. Okay. Hey, you too, buddy. Catch you later. Like, if there are chains where governance proposals are having difficulty meeting quorum and stuff, also that could be a design flaw. Okay. Like, some people are talking about governance minimization. I think they may be right. I'm working on the Constitution thing to allow founders to limit governance scope. Because, guys, like, let's remove any animosity or what have you from this conversation, and like, let's look at the different mindsets of, say, like a Wolf and a Sonny Argawal. Okay. Wolf actively desires governance that is not scope restricted. Okay. And Sonny, Sonny was like, hey, you absolutely must not chase after user balances. These are sacrosanct. But here's the thing. On both chains, technically speaking, Wolf is correct. And I would like for users to have some foreknowledge of what people. Zaid, I disagree. I think that, okay, Zaid, here's why I disagree. In central banking, you can do things arbitrarily. A central banker can make arbitrary changes to the state of a nation's economy. It is fucking lame. Whereas in proof of stake governance, actually the economic policy that's laid out for the community is literally in code, and it is very, very clear. It's driven by math. It's not driven by, the desires of a shadowy group that does not need to be transparent. Marcin, I know that you feel that say Prop 16 was a failure of governance on Juno. I don't believe that to be the case. Now,
I mean,
the
social
wording,
consensus
hang
is
on,
fine as long as
Mhm.
there is no, as long as the facts are clearly presented and there is no manipulation. Because I
Well, wait,
understand
wait,
social
wait.
consensus.
But the facts weren't clearly presented, and there was manipulation, and I still view it as a success. Okay, what you've got to realize is that I don't believe that either side clearly presented facts effectively. Okay,
Yeah.
and that I believe that this no manipulation clause of yours is bullshit. The reason I believe that is that we look at any political system anywhere at any time, there is manipulation. And then, so there's this question. I don't know if you've read the article "Meditations on Moloch," and don't worry, it's not an article that like drives people toward Satan worshiping, for example. It sounds like it, right? Because it's titled "Meditations on Moloch," but it's actually like the brightest, happiest, most beautiful document out there. It discusses how to kill Moloch. What is Moloch? Well, Moloch it's that force that backs all of the coordination problems in society. It's that force that drives us toward throwing labels on things like capitalism or communism when there's some clear, workable solution, but maybe that solution does not agree with my rigid philosophy, and so I reject it. But my rejection of that does not create the best outcomes either for myself or for society. And I consider that to be a seminal work. It was published, I think, just before the launch of Ethereum. It's also kind of the core principle that drives my work in cryptocurrency. And I'll tweet out a link to it.
By
It is
Scott
a read.
Alexander.
It's a
By
read.
Scott
Yes, correct.
Alexander. Yeah.
That's right. And he's kind of a lefty. He's not really somebody that I frequently agree with. But
What's your
you
politics?
got to very fiscally conservative and very socially liberal. Those are my political positions.
That would make us
So-
very similar, but we still vote a different way often.
Well, because I would hope that you're voting based on outcomes. That's why I voted yes on 16, by the way. I supported the outcome. I didn't support the wording. Proposal 16 was deeply flawed. And from the moment I smashed yes and clicked the little send button on the transaction, I was like, oh, I hate this. The trouble is, I also agreed with the outcome that was being supported. The reason is, and Marcino, I'll take a moment and attempt to educate you on how I view our mutual work in Cosmos and in cryptocurrency generally. So I do believe that there are monetary replacement cryptocurrencies, and I believe that the two best of those are Bitcoin and Monero. I do not believe that Cosmos POS assets are money. I do not believe that they attempt to fulfill a monetary role. I do expect that over time, people will try to develop one that does. But frankly, monies are very, very different from the high speed social communities that we are building out in Cosmos. I consider, for example, Osmosis to be fundamentally a social community. There's a thriving economy, and again, guys, one thing I'm not saying that Osmosis has no value. I'm saying that it's not money. Nice saying. And so, like, when I spoke to Sonny about this, he had a very interesting comment, sort of mirrored some of Jay's comments from 2017. He said, well, it's not money exactly, but it's the future of money. And I do tend to agree with Sonny on this. Actually, that conversation was about Prop 16. That's because he was expressing his objections to nuking the whale to me, and I said, well, so what is it to you? Is like the conversation sort of led there. So I'm like, all right, man. Well, look, like you're one of the primary drivers of Osmosis, and so now I've got to ask you directly, to you, what is it? And I prefaced with like, well, I don't really think it's a stock. I don't really think it's money. And then he's like, well, it's the future of money. And I'm like, okay, so what's that? And he's like, well, there are monetary characteristics. There's characteristics of what we think of today as equity. And it's also a platform, where people exchange these future monies. I do have to run, so I want to depart on this note, okay? If you would like to understand where certainly I am going in terms of the direction of my work over time, I'm not talking about even the next year. I'm talking about the next decade, Where I'm going, I fervently and strongly hope to see the distinctions between monetary and non-monetary assets disappear because it's stupid. Everything is a shit coin, guys. Everything. And the trouble is that right now we are allowing governments, or whatever the hell the European Union is, to bless their shit coins. But guys,
there is massive issue, Jacob. Did you did you see the US dollar is raping every single other currency?
It's very interesting. It's
and
very,
this
very
is
interesting
massive.
because we've had extreme inflation. I don't know why the US
Well,
dollar.
I tell you something, Jacob. The inflation in US was lower than most of the other countries, and strong dollar brings another issues and to other countries, right? Like because it increased the inflation. But many people in crypto don't understand the difference between money supply and inflation. And when money supply was increasing in United States, everyone was screaming inflation.
No, I'm screaming now. I'm screaming because I think you're
But
just wrong.
like the fact
I
that money
think that
supply last year increased for like 30%, it doesn't mean you get 30% of inflation. That's actually two
I think
different
you're
things.
wrong as hell, personally.
No, it's money supply does not
No,
equal.
you have not read that. You have not read the Bitcoin Standard. Until you
I
do,
yeah, like
please don't talk to me about money again. You need to
I
read that
will.
book. It's a free PDF.
I'm just saying supply does not equal inflation. That's all.
No. Look, no. Please read the book.
I will,
You're
but
not
I'm
familiar.
saying
You're not familiar with the work of the Austrian school.
inflation
But you're
is
making Keynesian arguments, and the Keynesians are.
I don't think I'm Keynesian.
Why you're making Keynesian arguments? You know why? Because you're taught Keynesian economics everywhere.
I never studied,
society's
like I
default.
never went to
I realize. Yes, I know.
Yeah, like it's
But you got to understand, we live in a Keynesian world. Okay, we live in a Keynesian world where we think it's acceptable for the state to have levers of economic control over society writ large. I do not believe that's acceptable. That's how I got into cryptocurrency. Okay.
I'm actually very like I'm not Paul Krugman. I'm like very like I
It
don't know
doesn't
what
matter though.
people trying
Well,
to
you're arguing
aim.
because you're arguing in support of the levers. Okay. And one of
Like
my fundamental precepts is that these levers are bad. I deeply,
would
deeply believe that.
I'm trying to see two sides, because even Lynn Alden, I watched some interview. She
Let me just
spoke
tell you
about
something.
this.
On this item, and I don't think there are two sides. I think there's
We
lying. I think
function
that there
in
are lies and truth. I I believe that Keynesian economics is just broken. I'm also not saying that the Austrian school is like the ultimate truth. My personal ultimate truth is that everything, everything from Google stock, Apple stock, Bitcoin, Monero, the Cosmos atom, the US dollar, the euro, the Japanese yen, the Chinese yuan, etc. Okay, everything is a shitcoin. That's my personal belief.
Yeah, like that's what
Until
that's what I'm saying. Like United States
you're not,
is,
you're not, you're not saying that.
well,
What you're
I'm
saying
saying
is that
I'm
that you
saying that
okay. What
I don't know. As of now, we function in the in this credit system that we create money from the credit, and we increase the money supply with that,
there
and
is
that's
no
how we
origin of
expand.
there's no origin of that money. It doesn't come from
And
credit.
yeah,
It's junk.
there is not, like, we just create the credit. The banks
Right.
create the money. Like,
But
people don't think the
I believe
governments
that to
does.
be fundamentally bad. Okay. I will
And
never
I'm
be
saying,
praising, Federal Reserve policies or what have you, um, that attempt to design the economy because I believe in people. Okay. What I mean is that, like, individuals freely and non coercively, so, like, another precept, right? Slavery is bad. We shouldn't do slavery. Now that's very different from, say, like voluntarily taking an unpaid internship. I'm talking about, coercion, force, violence. But this is a second book that I'd recommend to you. And this one's quite short. It's 50 pages long. It's called Anatomy of the State. I do believe that the state is the monopoly on violence. Um, I also believe, rather darkly, that violence is inevitable, um, but that we as individuals. I mean, I don't know what the world would look like precisely without handing over the monopoly on violence to the state. And I want to make really clear, I'm not arguing for a world where it's okay for me to kill Marcin. I guess I might be arguing for a world where, like, if I kill Marcin, him and his family coming, or his remaining family, because he's dead, they come and kill me. As opposed to outsourcing the violence to the state. And I know this sounds terrible, right? The thing is, at present, what we actually do is we have, in most cases, I think consensually, but maybe without thinking about it, we've handed over the monopoly on violence to the state. And the next problem is, I do not believe that the state, maybe especially my own country, which is quite externally violent, unfortunately, uh, I do not believe that they wield that tool well. Furthermore, in the United States, we have massive coercion problems. Marcin, the United States imprisons more people per capita than any country on earth, mainly because we decided at some point that it was a good idea to prohibit drug use so strongly we now have the world's highest prison population. This is fucking stupid. And I have raised my voice to show anger and disdain. It
I believe
really
the drugs
bothers
should be
me.
fully legal and not criminalized. So,
Right. Well, you keep talking about how great the U.S. is. Well, we have the world's largest prison population, Marcin. We have
It
slaves, Marcin.
as of now with the such a strong dollar, um, the
Well, we have
product
slaves. We have
is
slaves.
it's probably cheapest to buy
Do you know
Lambo
about
in the
American prison labor?
um yeah, I know.
Okay, well, we have slaves. That's fucked up, man.
Jacob, I understand the US, but like I heard one
You
thing, it's
understand? I
about
don't think you didn't go to Buffalo.
Jacob, but still, despite all of these bad things, the United States embassies are very busy embassies because people wants to go
Yeah,
there.
well,
Because
because of economic
because
gravity and the continued use of coercion. I believe that with less
and also the
violence,
freedom is still in the way better shape than in many other countries. And
I'm not sure about that. I would argue to you, and pretty strongly, that Vietnam is in most ways more free than the United States. Um, and I mean, certainly the per capita prison population is vastly less.
that's how it is in Southeast Asia. That's how it, like,
The literacy
you
rate,
you go Thailand and you
that
still feel free because
that's
you live in the foreign bubble. But once you say something like, but it's not free. You know on the back of your head that it doesn't offer. And I believe similar would be in Taiwan. Sorry, Vietnam. You can't really go
well, yeah,
as
yeah, but you know what? The rules aren't
the
unspoken;
future.
they're
Future does
explicit.
not belong to the east side because
No boy. All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna go
Han
because I could do this for a
go
long
Jacob.
time.
I'm
I
gonna
must make
discuss with
software.
them. Like,
Okay, bye guys.
take her. So I believe in the West. The West always fight, always argue, and there is like this doomsday coming to the West for like how long? 100 years now, and it just never comes because the chaos is the power. The Western democracies did something that it was always messy, and people always fight, and GDP numbers do not matter much. The West did not have like the largest GDP numbers in the past, and somehow they yet were able to dominate the world. So I keep bringing this up, but the sentence says all roads lead to Rome, not all roads lead from Rome, which kind of maybe could be poke at consumption. um, the fact that you produce everything and export the stuff doesn't make you superpower. GDP numbers do not make you superpower, especially in they are inflated. And I'm saying this as I don't know, man. This is the thing that China has massive issues. Many people think that China is this great. China has massive economic issues, and people ignore that because they see what they think. Hey, China has this tech, they produce everything, they dominate. They have inflated GDP numbers which are not true. The real estate in China is the craziest bubble of all time. How much is the real estate worth in China? 60 trillion US dollars. It's four times its GDP. Do you see it, Zaid? Do you see it? Do you see the problem here? Or you don't see the problem here? Is not problem 60 trillion real estate bubble? No problem, right? Stimulating economy just with the you know infrastructure doesn't necessarily work. That's what China did for last 20 years. It's not as powerful as you might think. The yuan is it's not very valuable currency. The people of China do not live in wealth as people of United States. Their currency is weak. They produce, and in the interest of the Chinese government is making sure that the common person in China is the producer for the West, not the consumer who build the wealth. This is another issue that China faces. Can China transform from producing economy to consuming economy? Because you don't have the wealth in producing economies. You need to transform that. Bro, like China has debt. The private sector is so in debt. They barely function. Many people don't see that. China is not this great place with no debt, boosting economy. They are land of the bubble and heavy government control. And what now? You see, like, especially now, the currency problem. United States dollar, very strong currency. Everyone wants US dollars. Euro going down. Japanese yen going down. Let's see the chart of the Chinese currency. Oh, so it's holding. It's holding very well. So Chinese currency is the last currency that somehow yeah, people don't see that. They see the video that is done by the government of China where they move the desert and they think, wow, so strong. It's infrastructure. It's infrastructure spending. It doesn't mean your economy is superpower. Like, people don't understand those differences. They still trying to boost the GDP with infrastructure spending, but they need consumers. Consumers make wealth in your country. Yeah, I agree. I'm not like so much pro. Hey, US dollar is everything. I actually see the problem is here. So euro going down, Japanese yen going down, British pound going down, and US dollar demand is very strong, which is the problem. What China will do? So you can see. So today is the drop. Chinese yuan is highly manipulated. So what the China will do now? I think this is the question. What the China will do now to boost its GDP number when they struggle? Okay, you know what's the way to do? Taiwan did it before. Uh, yeah. So here is the question: like, if China wants to boost the production and exports, what if they going to devaluate yuan? So for you, American folks, it's much cheaper to buy luxury car in US than in China because Chinese currency is quite weak and it's controlled heavily by government, because in the business of the government is to keep Chinese yuan low, so export. We make the stuff cheaper. If the Chinese currency go up, we cannot export, cannot compete anymore. You understand? So what the hell is going to happen if they devaluate Chinese yuan? It's problem. The US dollar is so strong that the world leaders have to meet and discuss the monetary policy, because United States dollar is then too strong and all currencies are collapsing against US dollar. And what they do then, right? You American folks will get super cheap stuff then, but everything is just fucked up. That's exactly what I'm saying, and this is very important. That's what I'm saying. US embassies are busy. Chinese embassies not so busy. No one wants to go China. And that also matters for looking at the future of economy. Actually, I think the China economy is not like, if I wasn't around, but in 80s everyone was saying the Japanese Japan is going to take over US. In fact, one plot of land in like Tokyo real estate is was worth more than whole real estate in United States, right? Hey Brandon, I'm finishing. Yeah, Europe is shit. But it's not, USD is not being devaluated that much. Like US dollar is too strong, the demand is too strong against other currencies, which is also problem. But US will get into deflation. Like, what's the inflation now in US? 7%. In Poland is 15. Look what happened yesterday to Polish currency. Look what happened. And it's still happening. But luckily I don't really like look at this shit. Look at that. 1 month from 428 per US dollar. Look last year. Look what's happening. US dollar is roasting the world right now. It's gonna flip euro soon. I'm not saying it's good. It's bad for US dollar. Too strong US dollar is also a problem. So like I don't really know like what they do, but it seems the whole world only wants US dollar now. No one wants to keep anything else, just US dollar. So with that, money supply does not equal inflation. There was demand for US dollars, and it's still very strong demand for US dollars. Problem. Yeah. Yeah. So, but the saying that the China win over US, it's big overstretch here. There were other countries in this China, how now 17% of global economy. Every time these economies reach this level, they struggle with transforming to consumer economy and sustaining that. So will China be able to do this? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, yeah, problem. US is too strong. I heard so like with the money supply and inflation not agreeing, like, and I think this is, so I got it from Lynn and Alden, so it's not mine, and I think Kathy Wood is like very much back in this. So um we created this inflationary system, so now many people assume we cannot live without inflation, right? I don't know, maybe we can. I'm not so expert. No, it's not about debt with China. It's not, you print, but yeah, it it devaluates the. But yeah, the China is in bigger trouble than US. So let's say you have like uh Lena Alden's, like, let's say we have like 3% yearly inflation, which is considered like healthy levels. Maybe 2% is healthy, but let's do 3. And the money supply increase like 6%, but the inflation is 3%. What do we have? Inflation or deflation? It's kind of deflation because money supply increased while the prices increased only 3%. Like money supply increased per 6%. So, yeah, the dollar is going down towards zero, but the prices also are falling in relation to value of US dollar, which many people don't get. And Zaid, if you are here, I see, because you were asking me about Nomic. You were asking what's the logged value of Bitcoin on Nomic. So um, I'm gonna make Nomic video today. You see this? Don't look at this. This is this fee on Bitcoin is because of the protection. So they set this massive deposit fee to make people not deposit too much Bitcoin because it's the testing stage. So people maybe deposit $20 to see how the Nomic bridge works. And with that, the Satoshis get distributed to stakers. Once the next upgrade is, I don't know what will be deposit fee. I would 0.3% makes sense. But Zaid, you were asking about this, so yeah, we'll see. So I'm finishing, guys. I really like, recommend you. I like listen macro. Like, I don't know anything. I'm openly saying I never studied economy. I learn everything from YouTube. To be honest, this is where I learn. So personally, I really like Hugh Henry. He's macro guy, but it's some people say he's annoying. I actually sent him message. I want to do interview. Really cool podcast. It looks crazy at first, but you can see um, some really cool macro discussions. The currency discussions. I won the interview with the guy. He got famous in 2008 crisis when his fund made 30% in 2008. While everyone was so, I'm highly biased, like, probably influenced a lot by the ideology of Hugh Henry. But I also listen Lynn Alden and other macro people. Just recommend. I don't know. I don't know if Bitcoin future is the future, because if the Bitcoin become bit, if we get into Bitcoin standard, as I said, Bitcoin is this kind of like non-inflationary, and we function now with this inflationary environment. So and we all tend to think that, hey, now we need inflation to grow, but do we? I don't know. We function in this, and it seems like that's how economy function, but I don't know if long term it does, um it does work this way. Oh, Nomic just like my tweet, which is pretty cool. We'll check. Greg Dickerson. Yeah. I know, but it's very small inflation. Like nothing comparable to that. So can we base the economy in this like slow inflationary system? So I was listening to like Lynn Alden, right? And how you do it? Like I'm trying to understand that too. I'm learning about money. So banks issue credit, which essentially means creation of money. If we come to Bitcoin standards, and let's say the bank reserves are verifiable by Bitcoin, right? So we get some kind of Bitcoin reserves, and it's tied to the creation of money. We then unable to issue the credit as much as we want, or rather, the banks are unable unless they issue the inflation of get the currency backing with the Bitcoin. So they manipulate the value of US dollar against the number of Bitcoin. You know, I don't know if it can work, but right now the fiat system is very flexible with this creation of credit, which seems maybe it would be impossible with Bitcoin. So as maybe this creation of credit is then not so easy, and the credit boost economy as well, whether it's US economy or Chinese economy. I don't know how it could work. I'm just trying to learn. Greg Dickerson. No, I'm not the big head guy who knows everything. Yeah, I see some real estate guy. But he used the technical analysis or something. I don't believe technical analysis work at all. Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you for coming here. I'm gonna make some video. Eat something. I still haven't eaten. I had horse riding in the morning. Came back, jumped to recording, and I did fucked up. I had the interview scheduled with the Neutron new smart contract platform consumer chain being built on Cosmos, and I forgot about it. I really fucked up. So, but it does happen. So thanks everyone. Yeah, it was nice, guys, that you were actually chatting, all of you. Zaid, cool, you are always here. Sakazer, Brandon, and others. Really cool. Take care.